We get it all the time. Everywhere I go around the world, people, as soon as I quote from the Bible, say, we can't use the Bible. It's been corrupted, it's been changed, it's been polluted, it's been accreted, it's been deleted. All these different claims about this book. And when I ask them a little bit more and I find out what they're saying, what they're saying is that you have many different versions. You have the NIV, which is New International Version. You have the NEV, the New English Version. You have the King James Version, KJV. You have the New American Standard Bible. You have Good News for Modern Man. You have many different versions, they're saying, which means many different Bibles. What they're confusing are translations. These are not versions in the same sense of the word. Basically, they're different English translations.
He knows very well there are multiple versions, which have different number of verses, even if the numbers of books are same.
Right now, as we're speaking English, if you were to go back, you're Lebanese, if you were to go back and to translate this into Arabic, there are probably 3 or 4 different ways to say what I've just said in Arabic.
Yes.
And that's why translations need to keep up with the modern language. When you look at the Bible, the NASB, New American Standard Version, probably sticks closest to the Hebrew and the Greek, word for word the same. But it's very difficult to read because we don't have the same grammatical structure in English that you do in Arabic. The NIV is a much more modern translation of the same Hebrew and the Greek. NEV is more in popular parlance. Good News for Modern Man is a version that was created for people that speak English as a second language, so only uses 500 words. And so therefore, 2,000 words. So therefore, it uses a very small vocabulary to help people who are it's not their native tongue. Now, you could say the same thing about the Quran. There are many different versions of the Quran.
There are no different versions of Quran.
You just stop and ask yourself, this one here I'm looking at is called the Muhammad Taqiyuddin al-Hilali. And it's also Muhsin Khan. This is the Hilali Khan version. But there's also Pickthall's version, there's also Yusuf Ali's version, there's Rodman's version, there's also Arbery's version. I've just given you 5 different translations of this book, the Quran, from the Arabic into the English. None of those 5 agree.
Every one of them agree.
They're completely different in their translations, and what's more, even the verses don't agree.
The verses completely agree.
At least in every one of the translations of the Bible, the verses are all the same. Not so the Quran. And so many of the references that I'll be giving you, not only in this talk, but ones I have given you and ones I will give you, I will say, such as Surah 19, Ayah 19. But if you look at Rodman's translation, or if you look at Pickthall's translation, it probably won't be verse 19. You'll have to look above and behind, about 5 verses either side, to find exactly what I'm talking about.
Every translation of Quran will have the exact same acknowledged chapters and verses. Chapter 19, verse 19, will be the same verse in every translation as well as any other citation. No need to look for 5 verses before or after.
These are nothing more than translations. They're not differences. They're not different Qurans. We would not make that claim against the Quran. Muslims should not make that claim against the Bible.
He just made this false claim that there are different Quran with different verses. What a shameless deceiver is this man.
Do Muslims also have different versions of the Quran? We have no different versions. We have different translations. What is the difference between a version and a translation? I tell you. See, translation, you have a choice of words. Like the verse I quoted you from the Gospel of St. John, chapter 18, verse 9, where it says, I have lost none. That's one translation. Another one says, not one or none, choice of words, not a single one. These are what is called choice in translating words. It's not version. But the version is, as the brother was trying to explain, he said that the verse on the Trinity is an interpolation. He said that. Interpolation means something that has been pushed into it which is not supposed to be there. And in the Bible he presented to me, that verse is a part of the text. In other words, now that's a version. You open another book, the Roman Catholic version of the Bible, which is the RSV version, Roman Catholic, they threw it out as a fabrication, that verse. It's a different version. This RSV is a different version. You remember the verse I quoted you? Jesus telling Paul, why kickest thyself against the pricks? That verse, that filthy, dirty verse, is now thrown out of this as an interpolation, as a fabrication, as an adulteration. So it's a different version. Now you know what's a version. You see the version now, that one, this one has it. This one is thrown out. Version. This one here has 66 books inside. This one here has got 73 books inside. It's a different version. I hope you understand now. It's my simple English. So we have no different versions of the Quran. The Arabic Quran universally is the same. No difference between one part of the world and another. In translations, we have Pickthall, Muhammad Ali, Yusuf Ali, Daryabadi, Asad. You can have 100 of them. There are different translations, but they're not different versions. Only choice of words in which they differ.
Hafs, Warsh, etc. are different readings of Quran. All these readings have few differences of synonymous words, or different spellings of the same word, but all readings have the exact same number of chapters, exact same number of verses, and the exact same message.